What is a movie that you consider to be as disturbing as it is beautiful? Not a movie, but the HBO Chernobyl miniseries gave me chills. It legit feels like a monster movie while you're watching it, yet the monster is invisible and everywhere. The monster is lies. Frown. What is the cost of lies? It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all. The actors they used for that miniseries were so ducking good. Absolutely perfect. And whoever wrote it as well, every word of the dialogue was interesting and it didn't have a single boring unimportant part. Every single one of them. I'd give it won awards or not, but it should have. It's one of the best films miniseries whatever I have ever seen. I'd give it won awards or not, but it should have. It won just a few. #awards and nominations. The original let the right one in. Something about it was so eerie and creepy yet peaceful. I live in Sweden, and what you saw was just what it's like here in the winter. Check out Midsummer for what it's like in the summer. Saving Private Ryan, and not just the first 10 minutes, the whole thing is framed and filmed beautifully, particularly the death scenes. I'll never forget that knife fight. That was gut-wrenching to watch. People started yelling in the movie theater I saw it in. Do something. Shoot him. I was like 12 and don't know why my aunt took me to go see it. No one knows why your aunt took 12-year-old you to see it. My dad had the movie on Blu-ray DVD. I first watched it when I was the age of 13. All of the war movies I've seen have been generic ultimate badass soldier destroys entire enemy force. The first time that landing craft dropped its doors is an experience I think all war movie fanatics need to experience. It was a real eye-opener on the true horrors and tragedy of war. Pan's Labyrinth, Vanilla Sky. Both are beautiful, but Pan's Labyrinth is beautiful, gruesome, and heartbreaking. I finally picked up the novelization of Pan's Labyrinth a few years ago, and it adds so much to the lore. Das Boot. It does not hold back or make war look glamorous. Knew a guy who was deployed to a submarine. He said Das Boot was the second most accurate movie about being on a submarine. The most accurate? Down Periscope. For some reason the comedies are always closer to reality. I work in healthcare and people always wonder if life is like Grey's Anatomy, or The Good Doctor. Absolutely not. Scrubs is the most accurate medical show by a long shot. The most accurate film about spying is the opening 10 minutes of the new Get Smart film with Steve Carell, where he listens to targets whine about their wives for 50 hours a week so he can get 10 seconds where they slip about a bomb. The majority of spy budgets is spent on exactly that. Either analyzing the information or getting it in the first place via spy satellites. Which is also why the NRO, the Spy Satellites Agency, has a larger budget than the CIA. In Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the only way the mole is found is by Smiley locking himself in a room for a couple of weeks and going through paperwork. I feel that is very accurate for intelligence work, very boring unless you have a mind for that stuff. Watership Down. Beautiful artwork. Graphic imagery. My childhood was never the same. I wonder how many 80s kids got sat down in front of that movie at a young age because it was an animated film about rabbits. The suffocation scene gave me nightmares. I saw it on some streaming service with the description, animated bunny movie. Hoo boy, some kids got messed up for life on that one, I'm sure. I haven't seen it mentioned yet, so I will say City of God. A beautiful film, but really disturbing at points with how matter-of-fact the violence is. Perfect Blue. I watched it because I heard that it was Aronofsky's inspiration for Black Swan, also beautiful yet disturbing. Black Swan doesn't hold a candle to this mind duck. Grave of Fireflies. My husband lends this to everyone who will take it because it hit him so hard. He wants everyone to get dragged over a mile of glass by the heart, too, I guess. My girlfriend had me watch it, and at the end I was angrily bawling my eyes out and accusing her of wanting me to cry. It's a masterpiece and people should see it, but yay, it takes a toll. Trainspotting. What Dreams May Come. Schindler's List. This movie is very disturbing, violent, and tragic. Perfume, the story of a murderer. Edit number 1, my entire life has been a lie. Edit number 2, Reason for edit 1. Thought the title was Perfume, Diary of a Murderer, and I have been making an idiot out of myself for 16 years. The book is good too, if anyone is interested. Ben made Jean-Baptiste look way better than what he actually looks like. The Truman Show, 1998. The moment where everything starts to click and he confronts his wife is golden. Who are you talking to? The movie could have easily turned into a horror movie. I think it is. It has good vibes, but the whole concept is creepy as duck. It has a happy ending, but it's still one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. I saw it for the first time just a couple of months ago. Over and over, I just kept being blown away by what a ducked-up thing this was to do to a person. They started messing with his head in infancy. Toddlerhood, childhood, adolescence, puberty, sexual awareness, all of the moments that make up growing up, and he doesn't know the whole world is privy to it all. The overwhelming obliteration of his consent just really shook me. It's interesting to frame it against what some people on social media do with their kids, broadcasting so many videos and stories and pictures enough that people become obsessed, low-key or otherwise, with what the kids are up to. Who are these kids performing for? Are they aware of what's happening around them? How much of their real-life experience is manufactured, in terms of being their parents being invited to experience events or given things for promotional purposes in order to generate more content buzz marketing? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it's just something I thought about the last time I watched the movie. The number of scrapbooks my mom has made of everything that happened to me in my childhood has made me rather soberly appreciate the fact that I grew up pre-social media. And it really makes me wonder just how many of those parents honestly started from a similar place of just wanting to keep a record of their kids growing up, and being proud parents eager to share. Only to get corrupted by the social media churn. Empire of the Sun. This movie wrecked me as a kid. I was about the same age as the protagonist. Went back and watched it as a father, wrecked me again. That ending is an absolute gut shot. #X200B, edit. This movie is also why I've never thought of Christian Bale as a child actor. This kid in his early teens was a full-blown actor. Midsummer. So bright. I absolutely love a horror movie set purely in the daytime and being to make it so engaging. What I got from the light was that it was representative of trauma. She hides away from a light source after the opening sequence without spoiling it, plus during one part she's overwhelmed and runs to a dark shed. She's in a place where she can't hide from the light and she must confront her past and future. Once Were Warriors. I'm not sure if it's disturbing, but it's definitely confrontational. Surprised to see a New Zealand film so far up the list. Definitely a sobering movie. It's commonly shown in domestic violence intervention and alcohol intervention groups in the US. Apocalypse Now. The horror. This is hard for me. Sofia Coppola's The Virgin Suicides or Lars von Trier's Melancholia, both of which feature Kirsten Dunst. But von Trier's Dancer in the Dark with BJRK is absolutely as gorgeous as it is devastating. My eyes might as well be faucets when I watched that one. Annihilation had a good mix of stunning visuals and horror elements, so I'd say that. Whatever that movie is with Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey. My god, that movie is incredible, but holy shit did it duck me up at it. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. We need to talk about Kevin. You know if you've seen it. Spoilers for those who haven't. A mom has her first kid who's a little shit, and they've generally disliked each other since they first met. The mom connects much more with her daughter, who Kevin also didn't like, left cleaner unattended which caused her to lose an eye, and threw her hamster in the garbage disposal. The dad notices the mom's dislike, and disregards her suspicions about Kevin, even talking about a divorce. 3 days before his birthday, Kevin brings a bow and arrow to school and kills several teachers and students in the gym. His mom comes to his school, and is horrified. She returns home, only to see her husband and daughter dead in the backyard. It ends with Kevin in jail 2 years later, and telling her that he doesn't know why he did what he did, even though he knew at first. It was incredibly tragic. For anyone interested, this is a Lynn Ramsay film. It's told in a non-linear series of vignettes rather than a cohesive narrative, and is all the more powerful for it. Her stories are often suggested between the lines rather than depicted directly. Her film You Were Never Really Here is also fantastic. It sounds like a sleazy thriller, a ruthless badass who hunts pedophiles with a hammer, but is in fact a complex and subtle character portrait about a man coping with PTSD and suicidal depression. My favorite Joaquin Phoenix performance for its depth and subtlety, though his more unhinged and flamboyant performance in The Master is up there too.